Water is a basic need for human beings, and without it, a lot of other diseases come in.
The Rotarians in Signani Central, it was their appeal to focus on a disease called Brule ulcer. When we partner, we come up with the right answers and the right ideas.
Rotary has provided more drinking sources of water than any single NGO in Ghana.
Committee no yajuma ebe ya nse di Ghana ebe he isu na ma atimi achere amayen.
We have done more than 50 boreholes and have gone into so many communities.
When a Rotarian makes a promise, people here truly believe that we'll keep that promise.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. We're so glad you're all here. Nice, beautiful, crisp day, and we have carbureted fumes in the parking lot. They smell so much different than fuel injection. There's some cars under the canopy on your way out of Rotary today. Be sure and go by and look at them. Let's try this again. While everybody's standing up, just say hi real quick to somebody next to you haven't said hi to yet. Okay. So most of you don't know that I actually practice and rehearse before every meeting. So in my rehearsal, I just love ringing the bell, and I guess I hit it a little hard. So we'll work on that, but if anybody knows a potsmith repair person, our bell's in need there. So let's get started. Our invocation today is by Brian Talkington, song and pledge by Diane Peacock, and our visitor introductions are by past President Chuck Wilson. Brian?
Thank you, John. Please bow your heads in prayer. Almighty God, you are our creator. You are our light and our fortress. You are our wisdom and our strength. We ask for your guiding hand to lead us through this meeting. May we approach our tasks with wisdom, and may we approach our members with respect. May our conduct create an environment of cooperation and kindness. Thank you for helping us accomplish our work this day. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Okay, we're having a little fun, so let's keep it going. Today, in thinking about a patriotic song, I thought about Yankee Doodle. How many of us have sang Yankee Doodle lately? There you go. I know I hadn't. And so I thought there could be nothing more patriotic than Yankee Doodle, going all the way back to the Revolutionary War. And by the way, when they talk about a feather in his cap and calling it macaroni, he's actually styling. That was an Italian style back then, macaroni. So remember, he was styling. Okay, now we're going to be riding a pony, so if you want to kind of bounce up and down a little, you can, because I may be, in order to get this out. Tom says he can accompany me, so let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. Stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. There was Washington upon a strapping pony. Well, it was an order minute, yes, there was a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy. Mind the music and the steps, and with the girls be handy. Hey, it's okay if we aren't perfect, right? Good job. Okay, let us now pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
That was different, wasn't it?
I like to ride some of those ponies out there in the parking lot.
Has anyone been in Rotary long enough to remember that when this happened, Mouzon Biggs would not start the meeting until everybody got quiet? Do you remember that? Anyone? Anyone? Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Glad you're here. We have wonderful guests. Ken, the pressure's on because we have a lot of guests that have come to see you today. Becky Baker is the mother of our exchange student Chase and is the guest of Duff Weddle. Will you please stand briefly? We'll applaud at the end. Thank you. Amanda Viles, who's with CAP Tulsa, is Philip Viles' daughter. Welcome. Catherine DeCamp and her daughter Laura, I assume, has John DeCamp. No, that's the host of Laura. Our student will introduce in just a minute. John DeCamp is here. Sorry, John. Thank you. You have your daughter here so often. I thought your daughter was here. Michael Willis has Darren Gantz of Gantz Insurance. With the Gatesway Foundation is Sarah Fry, and she is with Kathy Gurrell. And now for our exchange student, it is Laura Paralardi with Luann Bullinger. What do you think of that? And we have her host family, Teresa Gowie, who has Salt Yoga, and also her husband, Matt, who is the owner of University Village, a retirement center. They're here with us. And then we have John Taylor, TulsaJazz.com with Tricia Kirkstra. With the Salvation Army, Captain Ken Chapman with DJ Morrow Ingram. Vanessa Masucci, Visit Tulsa with Marlene Livaday. Finally, Lynette Potter, who loves muscle cars, is here with the car guys. Will they please stand? David Potter, Landry Davidson, and Bob Eva. And let's give all of our guests a welcome. And we have a visiting Rotarian, you'll never guess who this is, from Bristow, Mickey Moore. Hi, Mickey. Thanks to everyone for coming. Mr. President.
Thank you, Chuck. I feel great having to adjust the microphone up from Chuck. Sorry about that. So now for a little sneak peek at our upcoming programs. On September the 14th, we have Sean Latham, and he's going to talk about the Bob Dylan Archive. So all you car guys get to come back for a little rock and roll next week. On the 21st, we have Roger Erker here, and I hear he's an absolute hoot of a speaker. And he's going to talk to us about the American Diabetes Association Concours for the Cure. So all you car guys get to come back in 2 weeks and see even the origins of the cars that you're driving today. On the 28th, we have our very world-famous, funny district governor, Don Dendas. He will be extremely entertaining, so we're looking forward to Don. I want to give a special thanks this morning to our sponsor. Appropriately, it is Greg Cack with Jackie Cooper Imports. So I don't know if he can sell you one of those, but he can sell you an instant classic for 20 years from now. So now if John Howland and Duff Weddle and his crew will come up, they're going to talk to us about one of our international projects, and that would be Rotary Youth Exchange.
Thank you, President John. It's my honor to introduce John's already done that, our exchange student, Laura Perolari, is here with me, came in about a month ago, and she is attending Bishop Kelly High School. You'll be happy to know she has requested, even though she is not a senior in our grade, has requested the most difficult and challenging math and science classes. And she has a history of, in the family, of involvement with foreign exchanges. She is the youngest of 4 daughters, lives in Bergamo, Italy, and her one sister was a Rotarian exchange student in Arizona, studying chemical engineering now in the Netherlands. Another spent an exchange period in the UK, and another, I believe right now, is an exchange in Portugal, where she's studying at that there. There was an introduction of the Gowies, Teresa and Matt Gowie. They are the first host family that are hosting Laura and her stay. Charles Flinton is here. Charles, if you could stand up briefly. Charles is part with Anita of the second host family for Laura. And Luann Buehlinger is her counselor. And then we all know Catherine DeCamp and John. They are the third host family for Laura. I'd like for you all to welcome Laura with me and make her feel at home in the club. And to do that, just happens to be her 17th birthday. So if you could join me in singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. Our exchange program works as an exchange from district to district. And as part of that process, Laura's are inbound this year, but we need exchange students to go outbound, so there'll be slots opening up for exchanges inbound in future years. It's a fantastic opportunity for students, high school or gap year right after high school. And we have, Rotary International has something like 8,000 exchange students on average the last few years participating in this program. Last year, Rotary International, and at least some of the districts, have realized that it makes more sense to really rebrand the program as a Rotary Youth Scholarship. And part of that reason is that between the board, the room, the stipends that the local clubs, sponsoring clubs provide to the students, you're looking at something in the area of $20,000 that's provided on the exchange. In addition to that, they're provided tuition at the school they'll be attending abroad. We have opportunities for students to go outbound next year. The deadline is to get an application to me by the 31st of October, but it's a somewhat, as you might anticipate, involved process. So I encourage anyone who knows anyone in the family, anyone who might be interested, to get the word out. Try to get them to get the applications by the 1st of October so they have plenty of time to go through the elaborate application process and take an opportunity or take advantage of the opportunity that we can present to them. To get a little better idea of that opportunity, I'm going to turn it over now to Duff Weddle, and he'll introduce our exchange student, Chase Baker, from last year, 2015-16, who was the outbound student for us. Duff?
Thank you, John. Chase Baker is the student our club sponsored who went to Brazil for his exchange last year. I think he liked it. He's going to tell us a little bit about it in a minute, but I do know this. He stayed till the absolute bitter end. He departed one day before the expiration of his youth visa in Brazil, so we're lucky you didn't end up like some of those other Americans in Brazil. So, but Chase is, and along with Laura, are part of the 8,000 plus youth exchange students that participate in our program annually and go all over the world. Hopefully, when you hear Chase's presentation and you have a chance to interact with Laura, you'll understand how valuable these are in furtherance of the Rotary International mission. And we believe, as I think you will, that they are our student ambassadors. And I think after you're hearing their presentation and meet them, you will also agree that indeed they do represent our expectations and exemplify our hopes and wishes for the future of a bright future and world peace and prosperity and goodwill among all, that we all share this sacred planet. So Chase, could you please tell us a little bit about your year in Brazil?
Bom, prazer. Meu nome é Stephen William Chase Baker e eu estava morando no país do Brasil, Campo Grande, Mato Grosso do Sul. Yeah. Eu gostaria de dizer obrigado pela oportunidade para morar no país tão bastante lindo e incrível de país. I will say this right now, I'm not too great at public speaking, so please forgive me. I'm not too often speaking in massive crowds. Anyways, in Portuguese, I said that my name is Chase, and I wanted to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to stay in such an incredible and beautiful country for 1 year. Actually, I need the slide back up, please. But yeah, basically I will be giving a presentation over my year in Brazil and showing you guys some of the things in the culture and just country of Brazil. Yeah, so that is actually the moment I arrived. My counselor, who had no idea who he was, I took a photo with him, and he met me at the airport, flying to Brazil. There's actually only 2-hour difference between our time zone and Brazil. I stayed in the capital of Campo Grande, the state of Mato Grosso do Sul. And in Brazil, I'm called an intercambista. And honestly, I just think the word sounds a lot fancier than exchange student. So if you talk to me, you'll probably be hearing me say, oh, I was an intercambista. It also, has that little ring to it, Here you can just see Campo Grande. It's right near the middle. And you can see it in comparison to the other places such as São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. And I got to visit those places, which I will be talking about later in the presentation. This is my family, both of my families actually. Up at the top, up in the front, obviously in the red is me. And that was my first family, my host mom and dad, and my brother is in the green. And I also lived with, those are the two on the top left are my brother and sister from my second family. Brazilian school is completely different from American school, honestly. So how it starts out is you get up at 5 a.m., go to school at 6, and you stay in the same classroom from 6 a.m. until noon. And then all the teachers, they actually change rooms instead of you changing rooms to the rooms of the teacher. So basically where you see the students in my class, we would just stay in the exact same place all until lunchtime. And at which lunchtime we would go back home and eat lunch with our families before returning to school from 2 p.m. till about 6:30 p.m. So school is pretty long in Brazil. My school day, as I explained, returned to school from 2 to about 6:30. And every school in Brazil, they're run by private schools, I guess, but they're more small. So normally your class is your entire grade. So that last photo was just me and everyone in my entire grade. It was in the second grade. They do school differently there, but the second grade is basically 11th grade, our standards. And these are just some people from my class that I've studied with. My classes, the name of my school was Impacto, It just basically means impact, you know, to show that we are having, that they're going to have a massive impact on our students' lives. 1 class per grade, and the lady on the right was our art teacher, so we actually took a field trip and picnic to the park where we sketched the park, which is pretty cool, honestly. I liked it. Daily life in Campo Grande. Honestly, I would say the Brazilians are a lot more open. They don't really have such a the distance boundary that we have. You know, talking to somebody new, it could be such a strange thing, but in Brazil, they just kind of accept you as a friend, honestly. There's no, oh, hey, tell me about yourself. It's just automatically, you guys are friends. And I just love that part about the culture, because it's just, everyone was so nice there. Everyone was so open and always able to help. It was amazing. Driving is terrible. I hated it. Every time I got in a car, I thought I was going to have a brain aneurysm from freaking out. They don't, the rules of the law, it's more of a suggestion. Go 40, but the police won't really stop you if you go 60. So it's an adventure every time you get in a car. They have, during the colonization of Brazil, they were very peaceful, actually, with the native Indians. So they have many natural heritage sites just in place for the Native Americans that lived in Brazil. And this was at one of the parks that I was at. Campo Grande Rotary. So there are actually 8 Rotary clubs in my city, because I lived in the capital and massive amount of people, so they split it up. 7 of them actually share the same location. I was in one, and every couple, like 4 months, we do service projects, and I will talk about that in just a minute. But yeah, there were 2 other intercambistas in the city with me. There was Audrey from Texas and Albert from Austria. Sadly, we all had to go to different schools, but it was still pretty cool. I went out with them all the time, became very good friends with them. Rotary projects. So we have clothing drives and churrascos. Churrascos are incredible. They're the Brazilian version of a barbecue, and everything's open fire roasted, and rather than an American barbecue where everything is just served at the same time, they give you samples of everything so you can figure out what you want to eat, and it lasts normally 5 to 6 hours, so a pretty good part of the day. You normally would take the day off to have a churrasco. And so we had a community lunch. You bought a lunch, and all the money from the churrasco we would have donated to the needy in our city. Capybaras. I have fallen in love with capybaras. They're the native animals only to my state in Brazil. And they're basically, as you can see, like hedgehogs, you could say, but 4 times bigger. They're incredibly amazing. They're the world's largest rodent. They're only found there, and they're actually a protected species, so no hunting, which means I can visit all the capybaras I want. The Brazilian police. The Brazilian police is the military. So because of this, most Brazilians, they make sure not to do anything wrong, because you don't want to be in a military prison. And they have a random draft at the age of 18 where it's forced to spend 2 years a part of the military, regardless of gender, condition, anything. They will find a job for you, whether it be janitor or military training, anything and everything they will have you do. But they were actually really nice, honestly. I asked them to take photos with me and their guns, and they're like, yeah, no problem. That's their standard law enforcement weapons right there. So when they're walking the beat, that is what they use. It's pretty scary to see for a first glance. I took a Rotary Northeast trip, which basically showed me all these cities that were in Brazil, and it lasted for 28 days, I believe. It was incredible. There should be more photos coming up. This was in the capital with all the other Americans that went on to the trip. And there was my best friend Albert from Austria. We were on top of one of the mountains. I forget the name of the city, but as you can see, it was incredible. And just one more time again, I would like to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on exchange. And letting me experience a completely different way of life from our own. So thank you.
Well, Chase, that looked like a great trip, and I wonder if coming home on the last day had anything to do with a Brazilian young lady. No, okay. I know it's against the rules, so you have to say no. Okay. We have a few committee meetings today. If you look at the screens, please. Above and Beyond is in room 234. Rotary Foundation District and Global Grants is 232. Yearling Service Project Class 3 is in the Beacon Room. A few announcements today. On the 28th, if you need a flu shot, Terry Heritage will be here with her medical team from Interim Healthcare. Watch out for the Monday Minute, and there'll be sign-ups for you to partake in those shots. On October the 5th, that would be Wednesday, October the 5th, we have an exceptional opportunity. We're going to have our first off-site meeting. It's going to be at the Oklahoma Air National Guard. Now, this is way cool, but it's also way secure. So you must pre-register and you must provide your driver's license number to attend this meeting. So if you think you're going to go, you must pre-register and you must provide a driver's license to attend. That obviously means if you want to bring a guest, they have to also be on the list and pre-registered. That has to occur before September 21st, so you've got a couple of weeks to get that done. So I hope you take advantage of this. We're actually going to get to see some extraordinary events within here to the back of the room. So I encourage you to go through this process. It's a minor inconvenience, but it is a secure facility, so that's what they've asked us to do. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Rotarian of the Day, Michelle Place. Michelle is the Executive Director of the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum. I had the pleasure of meeting her and her facility for the first time at last year's Governor Assembly, so that was pretty neat. She joined our club in August of 2015 and was a member of Yearling Service Class 1. Bob Sade up here once asked her, "Why are you not in Rotary, Michelle?" And her answer was, "Nobody's ever asked me." That is Rotary Recruiting 101. Michelle loves Rotary for the opportunities to serve, both as a follower and a leader. A fun fact about Michelle is that she had only laid eyes on her future husband 7 times before they were wed, and that was some 36 years ago. She assured me she's almost certain they're going to stick together. So please help me welcome our Rotarian of the Day, Michelle Place.
Thank you very much. Well, if you're looking for someone to promote arts and culture, or arts and culture is economic development, or arts education, Ken Busby's your man. If you want to know where you should go have a good meal, a cocktail, hear some good music, attend a fabulous theater production, watch Ken's Facebook. Ken Busby has been named as the Executive Director and CEO of the Route 66 Alliance. Previously, he served as the Executive Director and CEO of the Arts and Humanities Council of Tulsa, the Director of Development for Tulsa Zoo Friends, Membership Director and Director of Communications for Gilcrease Museum. He's the immediate past chairman of the Tulsa Performing Arts Center Trust. He's the Arts Education Advisory Council of Americans for the Arts, and he's past chairman of that council. He serves on the executive committee of the Tulsa Symphony, Workforce Tulsa, and the Regional Tourism Marketing Committee for the Tulsa Regional Chambers Visit Tulsa. He received the Governor's Arts Award for Community Service, the Global Vision Award for the Tulsa Global Alliance. He's a distinguished alumni from Holland Hall, the Association of Fundraising Professionals, named him Outstanding Fundraising Executive, and named Leadership Oklahoma Distinguished Graduate. You see, I told you, if you want someone to promote arts and culture, or arts and culture is economic development, or arts education, Ken Busby's your man. He's also an adjunct professor at the University of Tulsa and is also a consultant in many areas. He is one of our own. He's a native Tulsan. He holds Bachelor of Arts degrees from the University of Tulsa and a master's degree from Indiana. He is a member of Phi Beta Kappa. How cool is that? And a graduate of Leadership Oklahoma class of 27. Please help me in giving a warm Rotary welcome to the man who can promote arts and culture like nobody else.
So naturally, I have one question. Why aren't you in Rotary?
Thank you. Just keep walking.
Will you be in Rotary?
Thank you. And now someone's asked me. My biggest regret at this moment is that I didn't invite my mother to come today. I had started to, and I thought, oh, no, you don't need to do that. If I'd known I was going to have that introduction, can I get a copy of that? She'll love that. She'll love that. Well, it's a great opportunity to be here, and Michelle, I do thank you. We've known each other for a long time, and I appreciate that introduction. I do care deeply about Tulsa, just like Rotarians do, and so it's a real great honor to be with you today. Today, I'm not going to focus on any of those things. Yes, I am, but arts and culture as economic development through Route 66, and it's so appropriate that you let us off with Yankee Doodle. And why that's appropriate is because, oh, thank you, yes, slides, is because we're actually going to go back. I think most of you know that Route 66 began in about 1926. That's when it was founded. Its history actually goes back to 1787. Fun facts known by few. Here we go. So we're on a roll. We're going to get through this. So 200 years of history in 20 minutes. Let's see how I do. Okay. So let's go to the early days. 1787. The Congress shall have power to establish post offices and post roads. Here's a picture so you can see where it was written. This is why Michelle and I love history too, because you have all of this great access to all of this data and all of this information. So we start off with post offices and post roads because that is the root, literally, of Route 66, the very founding. Good roads combine the people into a harmonious whole. Please note, that's the other thing I love about Rotary. You give such good guidelines. Please note the size of the font on these slides. I think you can read this everywhere in the room. At least I hope. I hope. In my family, we call him TJ. My mother loves Thomas Jefferson. But anyway, that's another story. But so good roads. Everyone's talking about roads because we know we have this vast country that we're going to have to cross at some point. We're going to have to connect all of it. So everyone is talking about good roads. In 1802, so we're not going to go year by year, so nobody panic. I thought two people get up and leave. It's like, oh my God, if he's going to go every year, we'll never get done. So Ohio Statehood Enabling Act, 5% of proceeds from the sale of public lands is set aside for roads. Then it was later expanded to include all states with public land at statehood. The National Road Act comes into play in 1806. And a road west from Cumberland, Maryland is established. It's authorizing this first road. It stopped in 1837 when they got to Vandalia, Illinois. Think about it, 1806 to 1837, how long it took. Big jump now, everyone hang on. 1880, bicycle enthusiasts in Newport, Rhode Island formed the League of American Wheelmen to lobby for better roads. Here's a membership card to try to prove to you that the American Wheelmen existed. You liking the history, Michelle?
Yeah, doing great.
Okay, good, thanks, just checking. Okay, so yeah, I'm hoping this is all coming together here as we're figuring out Route 66 and how it all is coming together. Okay, we're going to jump to 1891. New Jersey becomes the first state to provide counties with funding to continuously improve the roads. Because once you have them, you then have to improve them, right? 1894. The Department of Agriculture Appropriations Act gives the Secretary of Agriculture $10,000. This is 1894. To research road construction and management. Okay, we're already thinking about how we're going to manage a system of roads. In 1902, the free delivery of rural mail is expanded and now serves 65% of the entire population of the United States. But notice how they got there. Look how tall the mailbox is. Had to accommodate the rider who was up here at his stagecoach with his horses drawing him. We go ahead 1 year to 1903, and President Teddy Roosevelt addresses the National Good Roads Convention in St. Louis, Missouri. There's a picture of the program. And he writes, "We sympathize with and approve the policy of building good roads. The movement for good roads is one fraught with the greatest benefit to the country districts." Hang on. That's right, okay. 1913, Congress has now appropriated funding to improve post roads. That's why I'm going back to 1787. Post roads get established with the Constitution, and now we have to improve them in 1913. 1787, 1913. That's about as fast as we move today in Congress. It's great. But here's also what leads to this. Okay, so here we have Carl Graham Fisher, founder of the Indianapolis Speedway, agitating for good roads. There is no end, but it's high time to agitate less and build more. America can build a magnificent way from New York to San Francisco and present it to the people of the United States. We've got to take action. Where have we heard that before? Okay. But here's why. What's amazing to me when you think about these were some of the roads that we were following back in the early 1900s, and you think about it, those cars still managed to get through. This is what's amazing. I don't think our cars today would get through that. I don't know, maybe. Well, if they were a Land Rover or something, a big something, I don't know. Hummer. Anyway. 1921, the Federal Aid Highway Act is providing 50% federal matching funds for primary and secondary roads and up to 7% of the state's total road miles with federal oversight. Okay, this is 1921. Okay, now we're getting to the birth of Route 66. See, it says so right there. 1924, we should have a master system of highways with Uncle Sam at the head to lead the way. Who said that? Cyrus Stevens Avery, the father of Route 66. Here's his picture. Very nice looking man. Very nice looking man. And I have the great privilege today of working with his grandson, whom some of you I know have met, Cyrus Stevens Avery III. So in 1925, Cy is named to the Joint Board on Interstate Highways to develop a national highway system. This is 1925. They held regional meetings about the existing roads, how we're going to link them up, and so forth. So Avery, a gentleman by the name of B.H. Pipemeyer, and Frank Sheets are named to this 5-man highway numbering committee. Numbering becomes very important in Route 66, as you can well imagine. The goal of designating north-south highways, and I didn't know this before I really got involved about a year ago, a little over a year ago now with Route 66, but 2 digits ending in 1 or 5 were for north-south highways, and 0 were supposed to be the 2 digits ending in 0 for east-west highways. Okay, makes sense. And here's Mr. Pipemeyer. Not as good looking as Cy Avery. Maybe. Okay, 1925, we're still here. The Joint Board on Interstate Highways received approval from the American Association of State Highway Officials for a proposed national highway system which features US 60, sweeping between Los Angeles and Chicago. Something sound wrong with that? Okay, hang in there as we'll come to the rest of the story. Cy Avery again, this road of ours is the shortest to Southern California. It will be the best road, and it will get the business. Everything was about economic development even then. How are we going to get business on the road? So here is a map. Now, when you're looking at the map of Route 66, you have to ask yourself one question. Well, I don't know, you may ask yourself several questions. But if you're going from Chicago to Los Angeles or Santa Monica, would you ever come to Tulsa, Oklahoma? I mean, wouldn't you sort of go through, oh, I don't know, Iowa, Nebraska, sort of you're trying to get there and you're trying to make it happen? So 2 things happen with this, before I get to the rest of the numbering, but 2 things are really going on. One is that if you go a more southern route, you've got less chance of snow and ice. The further south you go, so it makes sense, okay. But the second reason, and the real reason, that the Highway Commission selected Tulsa as the key city, as you're coming from St. Louis and Chicago and you're coming on down, Chicago, St. Louis, is because of the old 11th Street Bridge, now the Cyrus Avery Memorial Bridge. That was the first concrete and steel reinforced bridge that crossed the Arkansas River anywhere in the country. And Cy Avery convinced the Highway Commission that they needed a safe route because you were going to have to cross the Arkansas somewhere, and you better do it at the safest place possible. So in 1926, the safest place to do that was Tulsa, Oklahoma. That is why we say Tulsa is where East meets West. There you go. I know, fun facts known by few. You're going to be great at dinner parties tonight. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so, but we're still here. We're still trying to name the road because when our story last left, we were still at Highway 60, US 60, right? Nodding, yes, you remember that slide. Do I need to go back? Okay, no, you got it. Okay. 1925, Governor William Fields of Kentucky opposed US 60 as the East Highway cutting north to Chicago instead of continuing east through his state. He wants it to go further east, not cut up to Chicago. There he is. Doesn't look very happy, does he? He's not happy about it, darn it. Okay, so Avery and Governor Fields clash over which highway is going to be named US 60. Congress becomes involved and almost sinks the national highway system. No surprise there. Okay. I love being able to make comments without making comments. It's great. Everyone just like, oh, no, I get it. Okay, so 1926, Avery and Pipemeyer concede US 60 to Governor Fields, and they chose 66 for the Los Angeles-Chicago highway. But there is a US 60 that continues on then through Kentucky. Here is the telegraph that actually confirms this, and you can read it. I won't read it to you, but that we prefer 66 instead of 62, which is going to make a lot more sense in just a second. Hold that thought. Okay. T.H. McDonald says, our highway system has converted a continent into a neighborhood within a few short years. 27, Cy Avery and John Woodruff found the US 66 Highway Association to promote travel and encourage paving the American highway, the main street of America. By 1928, we've become internationally famous with US 66 when the Highway Association and sports promoter Red Grange sponsored the Great Transcontinental Foot Race from Los Angeles to California and then on to New York. Runners worldwide competed in the race which was nicknamed the Bunyan Derby. Check out the footwear, if you can, in that image. I think our Nike shoes have improved a lot since that time. So here we are, Bunyan Derby, 1928. By 1939, John Steinbeck, Grapes of Wrath. Highway 66 is the main migrant road, the long concrete path across the country, waving gently up and down on the map from Mississippi to Bakersfield. Say, 1939, right? Okay. Now we're going to get your kicks. In 1946, Bobby Troop, en route to his new home in Los Angeles, his wife Cynthia suggests he write a song about the trip, and that's how he penned Get Your Kicks on Route 66. And many people made that song famous, one of whom was artist Nat King Cole. And if you'll bear with us for a second, we're going to play you a little clip of Nat King Cole doing Get Your Kicks.
Switch to US Cellular and get 50% off smartphones.
Did you just say switch and you get 50% off a smartphone?
Sorry. Hi, hello.
It winds from Chicago to LA.
Let's go ahead and end with that. If that's good enough for you guys. Is that good enough? Just want to give you a sample of it. Anyway, I'm not done yet. So, gives you an idea of the popularity of that song. And Asleep at the Wheel, many people have covered it, but probably nobody more memorable than Nat King Cole. So, fast forward a little bit further, 1952, and the U.S. Route 66 Association dubs the Route 66 as the Will Rogers Highway. I love this, for it reminds you of all the things you can see on the road. The Ozarks, oil country, cowboys, Indian country, painted desert, petrified forest, Grand Canyon, Boulder Dam, and Hollywood. And they emphasize the fact that it's all paved. So this was 1952, it's all paved. So anyway, we're also working closely, the Route 66 Alliance, with the Will Rogers Memorial Museum and their foundation to do a better tie between Claremore and Tulsa and promoting the Will Rogers Highway. So a lot of fun things are going to start in the works with that. By 1958, we've now named the River Road, is officially named Avery Drive in honor of Cyrus Stevens Avery. And by 1984, after many years of new, larger highways being built throughout and across America, the last section of US 66 is bypassed by Interstate 40 on October 13th in Williams, Arizona. And you can see it running absolute parallel with the new interstate system. This is 1984. Okay. In 1985, US 66 was officially decommissioned and removed from the highway system. However, don't be sad, because Route 66 lives on, so says the slide. In 1999, the National Route 66 Preservation Bill authorized $10 million to preserve and restore historic features of Route 66. In 2001, the National Park Service established the Route 66 Corridor Preservation Program, providing financial assistance to preserve the most significant and representative historic resources of Route 66. In 2006, I know we have car fans in here because we looked at those fabulous cars today. Disney's Pixar's debuted Cars, featuring Lightning McQueen and his unexpected detour into rural Radiator Springs. Many of you know that Michael Wallace is the voice of the sheriff in Cars and Cars 2, and he is now recording Cars 3, which will be released in 2017. The fictional town in Cars, located on Route 66, suffered following the construction of the interstate, which slowed traffic on the historic highway. And so a whole new generation at 2006 is now talking about Route 66 again. Just a fun, let's see if I can do my little, and that's the sheriff right there. I'm sorry, over on this side, the sheriff is right there. Okay. In 2008, the World Monuments Fund listed Route 66 on its World Watch list to draw attention to the complex challenges of preserving 2,451 miles. That's a big monument to try to keep up with. In 2012, the city of Tulsa unveiled a statue of Cy Avery at Avery Plaza and announced plans for an interactive Route 66 attraction. I'm sure, one too fast, there we go. I'm sure you've been to that plaza. And that, of course, in the background is the old 11th Street Bridge. In 2015, the U.S. Highway 66 Association is reborn as the Route 66 Alliance and the National Historic Federation join forces. In 2016, something weird happened to the slide, but we formed, as you probably see in the papers, the Route 66 Commission, which is a new 15-member commission appointed or created by executive order of Mayor Dewey F. Bartlett Jr., and we have 5 members of City Council, myself as the Route 66 Alliance rep, our 2 Main Street programs, and some other lay people, business community people on this. And the purpose of it is to drive marketing and economic development. Also, the Tulsa Regional Chamber is represented in Visit Tulsa on that commission. Very excited about that. It's another step in the momentum of building Route 66. And so that leads us to 2018, when we will open, God willing, and the creek don't rise, or the river in this case, the Route 66 experience on Crybaby Hill at Southwest Boulevard and Riverside Drive. There's a plaza shot of it. You're seeing on the left there the Syavy Plaza, and that in the background. Here's an overview to give you an idea, just quickly, of what we're going to do with this experience. That is Crybaby Hill. As you can see, it cantilevers over Riverside Drive. There is a 40-car outdoor movie theater, a 200-car parking garage, 2 restaurants in the 50,000 square feet, and about 25,000 square feet is exhibit space. One of the coolest things, I think, in the exhibit space, this interactive map and photo sharing that we'll be able to do for people updating photos on their trips when they're traveling the Mother Road, sharing that so people can see where they are and the experiences they're having, perhaps even photos of their food. I don't know. It could be all kinds of exciting things. A long-haul truck that you can climb up, and the virtual road trip. And that's probably my most exciting element, I think, of the experience, which will be the chance to drive from Chicago to Santa Monica in about 8 minutes, give or take, working with downstream media out of Portland, Oregon, to develop, while you're riding perhaps in, I don't know, a Ford Mustang convertible on the back of a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and having a virtual road trip. So you're seeing great signs, maybe the old Burma Shave signs, maybe you're seeing the Arch in St. Louis, all kinds of highlights along the way. So I think the virtual road trip is going to be the true highlight of what we're doing. With that, I should also give a shout out quickly to, because several of you have asked me about the design of the building. That was done by Seltzer Schaefer Architects here in Tulsa, and we're working with the Ross Group who will be doing the construction. So our plan, if all goes well, is to break ground in May of 2017 and open in November of 2018. November being the key month, which is the birthday of Route 66, and happens to also be the birthday of Will Rogers. Ooh, how did that happen? Anyway, with that, I did good, 4 minutes. And I'll take a couple questions. Oh, thank you. Yes?
Ken, you may not know, but Cyrus Avery was one of the founders of our club.
I did not know that.
Very active in Rotary, and as we were researching for our centennial history,
Right.
we found that he would come back to this whole battle to get Route 66 rooted through Tulsa. And almost weekly, he would give Rotary an update on his progress, and Rotarians helped in that dedication.
Cool.
When Route 66 actually did come through.
How fun. Thank you, Tim. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Good job. If there are no other questions, I've got one more thing to remind you of, but I'll take another question. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Let me just introduce myself. I'm Chase Baker's grandmother.
Hello, Chase Baker's grandmother.
I like his attitude that we should be friends with everyone. And we couldn't, get in touch with him very easily all the way to Brazil because where he was, they couldn't get a signal for a cell phone.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, some years ago, the University of Tulsa wanted to build some housing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't remember how you call it, but it annihilated a Route 66 icon, which was featured prominently in the highway books written back in the 30s when I was a girl. And by the way, I've been born on Route 66 when it was dirt. I have ridden in that car that you showed. It had no windows. You had to pull isinglass up on a wooden rod, and when the rain came in, it drizzled on you. And just the windshield. Those were the cars on Route 66
Right.
back in the day. But anyway, at the entrance of Tulsa University,
Mm-hmm. Sure. No problem. Just let me finish raising the $10 million I need to finish the experience, and then we'll get on that. No, but actually, and then I'll wrap up because I don't need to go. But that you raise a very good point, and that's the point of the Route 66 experience, and the new commission that we have is about economic development and promotion and really developing the Mother Road. But we're focusing specifically on the 24 miles in Tulsa County. So that the 11th Street alignment, that's the easy one just to call it that. There was an Admiral alignment that I'm sure some of you are aware of, from 1926 to 1932. We want to highlight all of that in Tulsa and really help. So we might be able to put that restaurant somewhere else, but on 11th Street, on Route 66, somewhere on there, so that because we want to preserve all of those aspects. We want to go over into West Tulsa, help Crystal City develop more and all of it. But we're all about just trying to make this a destination for Tulsa, driving economic development and tourism to our state and our city, which is national and international. We want to bring the Europeans and the Asians because they love Route 66. I always joke, and I'm ending with this. Germans know two things. They know the Autobahn and they know Route 66. And so we want them to have a great experience in Tulsa. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll work on the restaurant.
So in lieu of a speaker's gift, we provide a book to the library of Silly Clinton Elementary, and it's Father of Route 66, Story of Cyrus Avery. If you could,
I will do, sir.
Or Cy Avery,
yes.
If you could inscribe that, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you.
And in honor of Cy Avery, I mean, he was a Rotarian, so there's two reasons.
There's 2 reasons, right.
If I could get Sarge to come up, if we'll splash up our volunteers today, we want to thank everybody that was able to make this meeting a success today, and we really appreciate it. And if you would notice them with your applause. And our car guys today, thank you for coming. And Sarge, if you could do an abbreviated Sarge for us.
I can get on with the show. Okay. So today, Alicia, Tricia, I can't get this all. I've got Alicia and Tricia and everybody else on my mind. Tricia Kirkstra has paid a $50 fine to say happy birthday to Laura. So happy birthday, Laura. And thank you, Trish. There she is. Okay, and Dana Burks has paid a $100 fine because her handsome husband, Michael, was named as one of the top 15 architects in Tulsa. That's a big deal. And they're doing a little voting thing, and so let me see if I can read this on here. I may not be able to, but I bet you if you contact Dana, she'll tell you where you can go vote for him because they're going to pick out a #1 architect. And so, but we know Michael's amazing. Angel Harris, I just want to report, thanks to Lynette and her husband David, they pulled some people together, and so we went to the airport at 4 o'clock in the morning to see Angel Harris off to Japan, and she's in Japan now. That's her with her siblings in the middle and doing a traditional dance. So I just wanted to highlight, since this is kind of Rotary Exchange Day, that the Angel did make it safely to Japan. Now, as you know, I have tried to keep my integrity intact as Sergeant at Arms, and last week.
How's that working for you?
Well, I was okay until last week, and then when Mr. Ed's office has not called me yet to invite me to take his place when he retires. I'm just going to throw that out there. But we do have some tickets. We have some tickets. We have OSU, and then we have OU, and so I was just thinking that since you were kind of making fun of me, that maybe today I'm going to let you auction off the tickets. What do you all think? We think that he can auction off the tickets?
All right. Now, we took opening bids. Did we get it?
We did. So we have a starting bid for the OU tickets, and it's going to be Ohio State. Opening bid is $200. OSU, we do not have an opening bid yet, but let me tell you something. The lunch or breakfast and the free parking only goes with the OSU tickets because that's where the Noles are going to be on every game day. So they do an awesome treat on that day. So President, let's hear it. What do you have for us?
Okay, so we have 2 tickets, 50-yard line to OSU Pittsburgh, correct? Big non-conference game. Do I have $100 for OSU tickets? $100. Anybody $100? $100 right there. Do I have 100 quarter, 100 quarter, 100 quarter? Anybody 100 quarter? Got $100 here, 100 quarter there. $150. Anybody have $150 for OSU tickets? 250-yard line plus parking pass. Got 100 quarter, need 100 and a half. Anybody have 100 and a half? You moved your hand. Are you in? Anybody have 100 and a half? I'm looking at you. You have 100 and a half. You're still not looking at me. Do you have 100 and a half? No? Okay, 100 and a quarter. Anybody have 100 and a quarter? We got 100 and a quarter here, 100 and a half. Sold for 125.
All right. Okay, I am impressed. I'm really impressed. Okay, now let's hear it.
Okay, now for the big tickets, for the big losers, are going to be big winners. You should have cut my tie off 2 weeks ago, but that didn't happen, so here we go. I have $200 for the OU Ohio State tickets. I have $200. Anybody 2 and a quarter? Got 2 and a quarter here. Anybody got 250? 250? Okay, I'm in at 250. 275 to you. 275 to Brian. Anybody got 280? Anybody got 280? Got 275 looking for 280? 275 looking for 280? Okay, you got 280. How about 290? No, you're out at 290? Okay, we got 280, 280. You can bid over me, believe me. We got 280 looking for 290, 280 looking for 290. Anybody have 290, 290, 290? 1, 2, 3, sold for 280. Thank you very much.
Okay. I got nothing. That was good. Okay, that was really good. So, so now what we're going to do is...
Let's wait on the drawing.
Yeah, we're going to do our drawing.
Now, let's wait on the drawing. Alicia, if you could come up real quick for your service announcement. I promised you a curveball today.
Hey,
Sorry
everybody,
about that.
look at Alicia's teeth. She needs a slide. Somebody should pay for a slide for that.
So you dress up to go to work like
John,
that?
I appreciate this so much. I had this outfit all picked out, and I was afraid I wasn't going to get to wear it.
You look really good in optic yellow, by
Thank
the way.
you. So, how many of you are coming with us Friday for Day of Caring? Let's just see a show of hands.
Come on, peeps.
Thank you.
There you go, there's one.
Okay, well, there's 2 of you.
How many of you have a crescent wrench in your garage?
I don't, so we're in a real bad way. We need your help.
We need your help.
9 a.m. on Friday at the YMCA, Pine and Peoria. I promise it'll be quick. If we get in there really early in the morning, the mimosas will still be flowing. We'll work really hard before it gets hot outside. We'll be done in 2 hours, and you can pretend like you're still working and get out of work in your office for the whole entire day. That's kind of our plan. So.
Most employers give PTO, for Day of Caring. And what about after our Day of Caring?
Well, since we put in a full solid 2 or 3 hours of hard labor, we're going.
I get thirsty.
We're going to be thirsty.
We're going to be thirsty.
That means we're going to be at a bar. So, having water.
That's worth the price of admission. Bring your crescent wrenches, 9 o'clock, Friday morning, YMCA.
Meet us there. We hope to see you. Hey, you can sign up on DACDB, or you can email or text or call me, or you can just surprise us and show up. We'll be really excited to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Phil? Phil?
I'm aware of the time, so I'll make this as quickly as possible, this announcement. Again, September the 16th, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. At the Tulsa Historical Society Museum. Panelists will be speaking about their participation in the Just Governance for Human Security Conference. This was held in Co, Switzerland this past July. The panelists will include several from our community, including our very own Michelle Place, Executive Director for the Tulsa Historical Society. Their panel discussion will be, why is there global interest in Tulsa's race relations, healing history, and African American experience? The program is sponsored by the Rotary Club of Tulsa's Community and Diversity Committee, the Tulsa Historical Society Museum, the Tulsa City County Library's African American Resource Center. Again, this is September 16th from 6:30, September the 15th, typo here, from 6:30 to 8 p.m., and you can sign up on DACDB. There may or may not be a table out front to sign up, but please look for that, and please support this wonderful initiative in this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. David?
Business visitation. We had great turnout for people volunteering their businesses. Now it's your turn to sign up to go to the business you want to go to. Go on DACDB, sign up for a business. Next week we'll have sign-up sheets on the tables.
All right, thank you very much. And just a reminder real quick of our upcoming program, September 24th, Sean Latham, Rock and Roll, September 21st, More Cool Cars, and the 28th is the district governor. So if you want to do your raffle, let's do it.
Okay, well, that was pretty awkward for me, but obviously the script got changed.
A goal in life accomplished. Now, I wanted to do a poker run in honor of the cars. So in 2 weeks, if somebody can figure out how to do a poker run, we'll give that a run. If you know what a poker run is.
You'll have to explain. I don't even know what that is. Okay, here's our winning number. Does everybody have their tickets out? It's 247794.
Oh, that's worth $280. So we're trying to draw the joker out of the deck. It's a 50-50 pot. What's the pot up to?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's up to $911, and this was a record ticket day sale. So,
all right.
So keep it up, people. Bring your dollars.
So if he draws the joker, he gets to split the pot.
I have to cut these cards, and these people out here are watching every minute. Okay. Good luck. Good luck to you.
Oh. You know, that's almost a runner-up card because that's good job. Well, thank you all for coming, and I hope you had as much fun today as I did, and have a great Rotary Day.